Okay. Okay. And I'm bursting with news, but go ahead and call your meeting to order.
All right, I am officially calling the meeting to order at 8:07. Any objections? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Do you want me to share the screen so people can see the agenda?
I got it. I got it up.
Okay.
Does everybody else have it up?
Oh, you mean on your computer, not on the recording? I think we're supposed to, again, we're virtual governance thing. Let me just
Okay.
put it up, and then you guys can move to accept it, and then we'll take, oh, it went away. Who took it down?
I put it up, and I think you took it down.
Okay, well, you go ahead and put it back up, Dan. I think we were simultaneously putting it up.
Yes. Is it up yet?
Yes.
Yes.
But the agenda page is next.
Yeah, needs to be the
For the record, that Zoom link did not work for me just now.
Really?
Yep, that's what I was trying to get on.
I see.
Wait, what do you mean on the agenda? This where
So
it
this
says the
didn't work?
Google
That one.
Drive?
Yep.
No, you're here for that. You mean where it says Google
That's
Drive?
what I clicked on a couple of times.
So
And
you
it
clicked
said-
on this, join the Zoom meeting, and it didn't work?
Well,
And
see,
it gave me a message that said that meeting is scheduled for January 14th.
Oh, wow.
Well, that
That's what it
seems
said.
on.
Yeah.
no, you clicked on it because that was last month's meeting.
That particular link led me to a,
You're saying 836 led you,
yeah.
huh?
No, but I'm able
So
to-
my thought is that it's just too long. It's something about the length of it meant.
Well, it's not like we can do anything about that.
We
It could also be
can
a-
actually.
No,
Let's shorten it.
okay, Elizabeth, the Zoom link is 836. The one meeting we are in is 836-1233-4701.
Great.
That's
So
for sure.
I think what you can do on the agenda is take the rest of it out.
No, the password's necessary.
All that gobbledygook at the end there.
Yeah, that's there so you don't have to type in a password. I think
Okay.
what happened is your web browser cached the old session.
Right.
Anyway,
That
let's
could
talk
be.
about that offline.
Okay.
Lizzie, did you have any trouble clicking on this?
Well, I did not use the direct link. I input the numbers manually. And
Okay,
yeah, that worked fine for me.
all right. Well, the clicking worked for me for what it's worth.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
sorry,
great.
sorry, I can't even answer the question. I'm the host, so I just put it up in Zoom.
Okay.
So, okay,
Well,
anyway, do you want a display? Yeah, there you go.
moving right along. Elizabeth, did you say you were going to second approval of the agenda?
Yes, I second the approval of the agenda.
Okay, all in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. Let's see. In attendance, Dan, Elizabeth, Lizzie, and Laura.
So Danielle Merrow, who's one of the new CD10 deputies, may log in. And if she does a little late, because she had a 7 o'clock meeting. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. Okay.
Hang on, I'm taking minutes as we go. All right. Introductions. Does anybody not know each other yet? I think we've all been introduced.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Any public comments before we move on, or announcements?
The only thing that Lizzie or I might want to announce, but I'll do it, is because we're going to announce it at every meeting we have. The UNNC elections cycle has begun. So candidates can file to run for our 12 seats that are up for election. So 6 are area reps and 6 are at large through March 9. And then the actual election is all the way down the road on March 25, but there's a bunch of deadlines in between to apply to receive a vote by mail ballot. The whole thing will be vote by mail. So we're going to announce this a lot, and we'll be also asking everybody to share that information. You all should have received an email yesterday evening from UNNC with this information. That's my public comment on something not on the agenda.
Great. Okay, so noted. Approving minutes. Again, I have failed to put together the minutes for approval. I did it for my other sustainability committee this past month successfully. So it just fell through the cracks. I completely spaced on it this time.
No worries.
Yeah, so tabling.
But a suggestion that we simply type. You're typing, Dan, right?
Yes,
So you're essentially doing the minutes.
I am.
So how about you pass them along? Somebody else can, like, I don't know, format them and then send, and then we just approve them.
Are you volunteering?
Yes.
Yes, the English major co-chair.
Well, the thing is, I had an experience recently where somebody took my notes, which were not done, which were not edited, and this is in CCL, and she just took them, made like 2 changes, and then publicized them. I was mortified because they were not good enough as far as I was concerned, and then I realized, oh my goodness, they're done.
Yep. All right. Good idea. Thank
Right.
you.
So the 2 of you can also offline that. You guys have no Brown Act issues because you're not elected members of the board. So you can yak to your heart's content about how to edit those minutes. But these would be, so this would be a couple of months in a row. They should in the next month just be given to me far enough in advance so I can upload them to the agenda packet.
Yep.
Perfect. But I'm saying no worries because most of the committees are not doing such a good job of it.
Right.
And 15 years or 18 years of planning and zoning committee, we've never had minutes at all. Just
Right.
saying.
Well,
So,
good. So I'm ahead
I mean,
of the
we
game.
we keep our note, we have notes, we know what our motions are, but we've never done official minutes. So
Yeah. Well, I will endeavor to get ahead of the game again with Elizabeth's help. Let's move on. So the meat of this meeting is trees, and both. I think last month, or maybe the month before, I committed to. I had a hissy fit about the state of the data we had on the tree wells, and I said I'm going to make it all better. And it took me weeks to get around to it, but then I spent a solid day on it and I made it better. And that involved going out and taking the missing pictures and figuring out how to organize it. And so now it's organized up the wazoo.
It's amazing.
right. So do we get to see that now?
Yes. So let's see here.
You have to unshare this in order to share the next. There you go. So I am bursting. I need to say I'm bursting with news. So can I just say it?
Yes.
I talked to Lonnie, the representative from Lonnie, which is the Los Angeles Neighborhood Initiative today. And in fact, she sent a new letter to Helen that the grant money is available.
Oh, good.
so that was an open question. They will not be able to write a check, Lizzie, to your neighborhood. They will have to write it to KYCC, which is not a big surprise. But I did tell Rebecca that I was not totally at this moment clear on whether Helen wanted to participate in this program, but that what Rebecca's response was, well, whatever Helen's open to trying to do a different project, but she has to have a 50% match. I mean, there would have, and so it's sort of a carrot and stick. I hope Helen's just willing to participate in this project so we don't have a big fight. But because I also don't see UNNC showing up with another $2,500 for that project while we have encumbered 4,000 and maybe asking for more for this. So I don't know. I figure you're the kind person and you have a good rapport. So Helen may not know she's getting the letter saying the money's available because it's actually, they mailed a letter. They didn't email a letter.
Yeah. I was not involved in that part.
I know. It's just that you are friends with her.
And the project morphed into or developed into this one. So, you know what my take on it is. So.
Well, my take on it is that we, UNNC, encumbered the money based on it was the project. So now what I know is we're still a few dollars short on the initial project because the bid from KYCC for this project, which was 25 trees, young trees, watering and maintenance, is $6,600, I think. And we are now at assuming that the money for Helen et al. Is coming in, that's 25, and we have just under 4,000, so that's 65. Oh, and this is 69. So it's already $500 short, basically.
Laura?
Yes.
I'm approximately 5 minutes behind you in understanding what you're talking about. Could you start over?
We have money. We can't do a project without money.
Right. Where's the money from?
United Neighborhoods Neighborhood Council had been requested from the Jefferson Park, some people, meaning it's not a 501c3 nonprofit, just a group of people in Jefferson Park who have a collaborative relationship. They were applying for a grant from the Los Angeles Neighborhood Initiative, Lonnie, for tree planting.
Hang on one sec. Who applied for the grant?
This need not be in the minutes. We've already got encumbered funds. I mean, if you want it in the minutes, that's okay.
But would you please, Dan, would you please add that it is the 31st Street Quality of Life Committee?
Got it. 31st Street Quality of Life Committee.
And this is dating back.
That's the name, Lizzie, on the final thing.
Project. So the current project has the antecedent of the Clean Streets Awards.
It no longer has that money, Lizzie. Gone. Not part of it.
Okay, so offline, please, you will have to explain that to me again because
we transferred it to main UNNC funds in May, and we voted to do that. So it's not the Clean Street funds. It is our actual money, our actual budget from last year that we voted to encumber and transfer to this year. It dies in June. It's gone.
Okay, but you said that there's still money for that. Our money safe, the Clean Streets money safe.
Lizzie, which the UNNC will vote to give to whatever at whatever point. It's nothing to do with this at the moment.
Okay.
Right, so in what happened is, this is for Dan and Elizabeth. We've discussed this before. We'll quickly do it again. This money was all applied for in October of 2019, pre-COVID. Lonnie
From
will, the Lonnie organization will not give 100% of funding to anybody who applies. They
Hang on a
have to
sec.
be 50%.
Who's Lonnie? Did I spell it right?
And you've got it right. Los Angeles Neighborhood Initiative.
Fine.
They are likely an entity that helped pay for your little park on Washington and LaSalle, to be honest. They
Okay.
probably helped
How
with
much
that
did
too.
they apply for?
Pardon?
How much? What size grant did they apply for?
Well, the grant they applied for, they didn't get. They received $2,500. They applied for more, but they received $2,500 approval, but it was matched by UNNC, and we matched it $4,000 because we were matching the higher amount they were applying for. Okay, so that was October 2019. Things happened, and the person who was leading the project didn't move quickly. Then other things happened, specifically that the other partner in this, I guess you should write that, the other partner is KYCC, which is Korean Youth, whatever,
Yes.
KYCC. They're the funder partner, if I'm saying that right. That's who gets the funds. So they had written a project bid of $6,900 for 25 trees on Jefferson Boulevard that were pre-identified for watering and maintenance. So the other thing that happened when the project coordinator finally kind of got around to doing something is that KYCC rejected the majority of those trees. As again, we've been discussing for months. Only 8 of them are viable. So we needed to find new locations. There were not enough living trees that would benefit from water and maintenance. There are dying trees or dead trees. So
So the previous thing was not for tree replanting. Got it.
I'm sorry, Dan, I can't hear you.
So the stuff you're describing up till now is not tree replanting, it's tree maintenance.
I'm describing the original grant.
Yes, which was about tree maintenance.
The original grant, which by May, it became clear was not viable. Meaning the language from KYCC that had been approved was not viable. So in May, in consultation with Lonnie, UNNC changed the project description to the word young trees, which would allow us to either maintain existing or have planted new ones, right? And it's still watering and maintenance, but we just changed the description to young trees. We didn't say plant new trees, just watering and maintenance of young trees and prioritizing Jefferson Boulevard, but allowed to be on any nearby commercial boulevard in UNNC. And based on that approval from Lonnie, we then encumbered the funds, the first and probably only time ever in neighborhood council history where you could encumber funds and move them to the next year. And it was because of COVID. Many neighborhood councils couldn't spend their money in this last year. So we all were allowed to encumber it. And we encumbered not 6,500. UNNC encumbered 3,000, if you run it accurate, $3,996. We don't know why it wasn't 4,000, but that's what the city clerk told us it was, 3,996. So, and that's what you guys have been working on, identifying other trees or tree wells where we can put in the young trees so that we have a total of 25 to match the bid of, from KYCC. So the existing bid that's a part of the grant package from KYCC is 25 trees, 1 year, whatever they do, and the total cost is $6,900. So that's what you guys have been doing, but of
Right.
course, you identified what, 82? I mean, a lot more.
62.
Okay.
But we don't know, perhaps the 8 or, well, I don't know. I
Well,
wasn't looking at existing trees, so I don't know what happened to the 8.
Right, and we have the list, somewhere we have the list of 8. But here, so what we've been doing, it doesn't matter, you know, to me, we can ask for more money from UNNC. The issue that came up with, Elizabeth can jump in here now, because I don't want to go back and look at my text, but I could. The issue that came up, what, 2 months ago, Elizabeth, after we met with Helen in this Zoom room in November or December, and Helen said we would never be able to do the project. That's what she said to us. And then she said after that, she thought the money was not currently available, and or she thought, whenever, you don't put this in the minutes. Don't put this in the minutes. This was private conversation on text. I mean, it's being recorded, but don't please put it in the minutes. And or she thought the 31st, whatever the name of I'm sorry, the Quality of Life Committee for 31st Street. Would have the
And,
highest priority.
Okay, let me.
No, Lizzie, let me finish, because I talked to Rebecca today.
Laura, please, do not dismiss the organization, the block I live in exists.
I'm not. I just
do
didn't
a
know
lot
that
of
its
work
name.
for the community, and it has a name. Please write it down and
It is
say
there,
it.
31st Street Quality of Life Committee.
Yes.
I see it. So
it really offends me that you dismiss the name, that you forget the name. Please write it down and mention it every single time. You need
Okay.
to. Please.
okay. Well, the point is, Helen wrote a text to Elizabeth that's basically said that there was no money, and when the money would become available, if it ever did, that she, Helen, and her project would have high priority. But the issue for UNNC is, and also in my talking to Rebecca again, the issue for Lonnie is that this is a particular grant on a particular project with and not just money. It's not really just $2,500 granted to the 31st Street Quality of Life Committee. It's a portion of a $6,900 project that had matching funds. And the last $500, I don't know where, I mean, that's the money you guys did, that the 31st Street Quality of Life Committee did not receive. So from Lonnie, they only granted $2,500. So there's still $500 shortage right up front. But in addition, because of how we are expanding the project, there's a greater shortage of funds because you guys have identified so many more places for trees, and or we might need to pay someone to do soil prep. We may need to remove a stump. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just find 25 perfect locations, including the 8 originally identified that have living trees that need help. Are those trees 2 years later or a year and a half later still even viable for KYCC? It's another year and a half with no water or maintenance. So I don't know. I mean, we've been losing trees right and left. So some of the places where you guys have identified, meaning the volunteers have identified as really perfect, quote, locations, because there's no tree there, it doesn't mean, I mean, in other words, I don't know that there's still 8 trees. There went from 25 to 8, and I don't know if the 8 are still viable.
Right.
So,
okay.
so that's these funds. So the money that Lonnie will give to the 31st Street Quality of Life Committee is not actually money going to the 31st Street Quality of Life Committee. It's money that would go to KYCC, and it would go when our money goes to KYCC.
Right.
Our
Question.
money has to go by June 1st or so. So we have to have a project that's real by June 1st or so.
Question.
Whatever the deadline the city clerk puts on that, but it has to be real. That's why we didn't just give the money to KYCC last year, because there was just nothing that seemed to be viable at that point. But my news is the money's there. I am using the word we because at this point we have been working on this, right? The UNNC tree committee / environmental committee. And we have made it become a much bigger idea. And I think anyone at UNC on the board is probably not opposed to even adding more money to it and having more trees. So that's my update though. The 2,500 seems secure.
Question? Is my mic working?
Yes.
Okay. What was the letter we got and who was it from?
We didn't receive the letter. Helen is about to receive the letter from Lonnie telling her the grant's alive.
So that brings us up to date, I guess. And the next step is for, I suppose, us to take the list of
well, you need to
candidates
select, you have to select something. You guys have to do three things, I suppose. One is confirm with Helen that she's still participating in this. Otherwise, our gap funding is we need to find the rest of the 6,900, meaning we have 4 and we need to ask the board for 3 more.
When you say Helen, you mean 31st
I mean 30,
Street?
well, she seemed, okay, so Lizzie, is there anyone else besides Helen involved in this?
Well, at the time, I think the only 2 people who formally are mentioned in the application are Helen and Dolores.
Correct.
Yes.
But someone, the thing is, what I also confirmed with Lonnie, the 31st Street Quality of Life Committee will not get the funds. They will be canceled if they don't have a minimum of 50% match. So, I feel like there's sort of the playing chicken on the highway. I feel like this has to be the project because otherwise just like the $3,996 will be lost if we don't spend it by June. The $2,500 will be lost forever if the match is lost. So, I think we may be uncomfortable partners, but we need to proceed as partners.
I mean, we all want trees in our neighborhood. But my take on it, and it just became part of my personal project too, was because we got those awards from Queen Streets, and it feels.
Okay, it's again,
yes,
Lizzie, you still have the award. It's gone away from this project. And there was a reason for it. And I mean, there was a board directed reason for it. We did not need to encumber your money. We needed to encumber the general funds because we would have lost them. They had to be spent or encumbered, or else they were being given back to the general fund. Yeah.
Is what I wrote there accurate?
Other than now you wrote 32nd Street. 32nd is.
I upgraded them. Okay.
Well, and then select the locations and also decide if you want, I mean, what if we want to do 35 trees? How much? Okay, I'm sorry, Lizzie, I'm now looking at the text.
Yes.
What Helen also wrote
yes.
was that you were coordinating it. the project?
Well,
No, I mean, I never, sometimes I delete text, sometimes I don't.
yeah, I mean, the reason why I feel uncomfortable coordinating this is because admittedly I have no knowledge about trees.
Well, that makes us even.
So
Elizabeth is the tree girl.
exactly. So that's why I just, I mean, I'm here to listen, to support, and also you know, I will admit I'm protecting the spirit of our original project. I want to preserve as much of it as possible.
Well, you do know that Elizabeth identified a ton of locations in Jefferson Park, and I thought you two also talked about which trees and all that stuff. So I think we are preserving.
Exactly. So I am at peace with that. We also, you know, also Western, the segment of Western that is part of Jefferson Park is also of in an ideal world that would also be part of our priority,
Correct.
because again there's a lot of need. We feel that Jefferson Park, for its density, the population, as compared to the whole UNNC footprint, I feel that we have been neglected. So I mean, those two major corridors could use a lot of TLC.
Well, yeah, and so sad because in the work, this massive work that Elizabeth and Dan and others have done, we've also realized that even though UNNC many years ago planted 100 trees on Washington, half are gone. I mean, so that, and then my bigger picture view is I would like to spend as much as we can this year if we have on the trees, because I feel like we won't have money next year. So
I understand that.
you know, so you know, so again, I would like to see all these photos. I spent a lot of time making the file smaller, but I didn't actually look at the photos, Dan, and see what you guys have come up with, since you have 62 locations. And I think those are 62 locations for new young trees. Is that correct? The recent newly planted?
Correct.
Right.
They're
So
empty tree wells.
right. And some of them may be overlapping stuff I saw. So for example, on Jefferson at Crenshaw, meaning the Bank of Tokyo / Union Bank development, Lizzie, the trees are gone.
You
The
have an address?
mandatory, they were required to plant them and maintain them in their land use entitlement permit. They're gone.
And
So
they
I
have-
kind of feel like we shouldn't have to pay for those. But we should identify places like that where we want to just turn back to the city and say, get those trees back in and charge the owner. You know, and there are fees for planting tree. I mean, in other words, Public Works, $273 will plant a tree. That seems
Question.
rather expensive.
Where are these trees?
The corner, I would say the northeast corner of Jefferson and Crenshaw. So between Bronson and Crenshaw on Jefferson, and then you turn north onto Crenshaw, it's supposed to be fully planted with trees. Meaning, in other words, if you went on the planning department's case summary sections and look at the approved project and its plans, it's all posted online. You see how many trees, what kind they are, and there's a requirement. It should have been watered. I suspect they built them without the irrigation, but you know, or something. Anyway, the trees are gone.
What's the name of the project?
We call it the Bank of Tokyo Union Bank, but that may not be the name of the shop. It's a shopping center. It has the 99-cent store, the Union Bank, and the former Bank of Tokyo building, which is currently, I think, a health center. Is that right, Lizzie?
Yes. I'm not even sure if it's open right now.
I think it's not, which seems weird in a health crisis.
Being a health care facility.
Right.
I think at some point there was even an encampment on the footsteps.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no is what I'm going to say. Just, oh, no. But the trees are gone. You know, there's tree wells, but no trees.
So
And I don't know, you know, I don't know if there's any other situations like that where there was anything mandatory on Western or mandatory, you know, anywhere. But there is no development that can go forward without putting in the trees, right? And these are kind of required to keep them. It's not just plant them, you're supposed to keep them.
right.
So,
So in theory,
Laura?
could we enforce that?
Laura, could you perhaps check the spreadsheet and like tell me if any of the trees we?
Oh, yeah. You know what I'll do is give me a moment while I do that, because what I have to do is go on Zemas to get the address. Sorry.
Well, we don't have to do it in this meeting.
Okay. But on the other hand, it won't be too hard.
Okay. Elizabeth, so where do things stand with you? Have you had a chance to look at this at all? Oh, you may be muted. I do not hear you. Technology.
Better?
Yes.
Okay, switched off. Okay. Yesterday, I called KYCC, the person I was supposed to call, Christine, and it was too late. She was gone for the day. And then I forgot to call this morning. I left myself a message, but I forgot to call. So
Okay.
she works terribly early from like 7 to 3. And they were very nice. So this is the first time I've heard about the 31st Street Quality of Life Committee. And the fact that, so this project started with you, Lizzie.
Yes.
So that to me means a special effort should be made to fulfill your original vision. I was just going to go to KYCC and ask, where will you let us put 25 trees?
Mm-hmm.
And now I think the question remains the same. What would they approve? And then within
what will they approve where we can confidently give them our funds and Lonnie can give them their funds and know that we'll really get this done? Because
and that tells me too that trees in the same general vicinity would make maintenance of them easier, more straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my understanding is, Lizzie, that you wanted them on Jefferson.
Our original project involved only Jefferson Boulevard, but also, of course, providing that we could get those 25 trees on Jefferson Boulevard. If not, then we could apply them also on
Western.
let them on Western.
Yeah. So it seems, just meeting with her and KYCC and finding out where she'll let us put them, because there's now such a wealth of tree wells. I may have helped at the beginning of that, but Dan did some serious heavy lifting.
Yes.
Okay.
And so going to her with that plan, I'm just so proud.
So Lizzie, have you had a chance to look at the list of trees that tree wells we identified?
Unfortunately, I was teaching and I only got to just take a quick peek at it, at them. But I noticed that there were some on Western. There were some wells, namely where City 10 was, but I didn't go south On Western.
Yeah, I only have 4 on Western.
Okay.
Well, that may be though, that aren't there, the reason you only have 4 on Western may be that they have trees. I mean, what would be the reason you only have 4?
Oh, I went all up and down Western and only found 4 candidates, you know, tree wells that didn't have trees and didn't have stumps in them. And I may have missed some, but
Around 27th Street, there are, what are those called? The big ones with
The fig,
invasive roots.
the figs, yeah. Or, yeah.
So those were that homeless person lived for many years. Laura, you will remember him.
He died, yeah, but that, again, that project's gonna be required to put in their own trees.
So they will take care of them, I'm sure.
Correct. And Dan, to your question about, look at the Excel spreadsheet or the spreadsheet, it's the 3060. You have it, 3060 South Crenshaw 99-cent store. You have 3 of them.
Uh-huh.
So it's lines 12, 13, and 14.
Yeah.
And if you move to Jefferson, I'll see if I have an alternative address.
What I hear you saying is that we can ask 99-cent store to plant new one.
No, the owners,
Oh, the owners. Okay.
not ask.
Church,
This
right?
is this is a tell, not an ask.
Tell nicely.
Tell the city they need to go out and tell them. So let them be nice or not nice. I don't care. It's not us telling. No, I mean, in other words, they must be good neighbors. They got so many extra entitlements.
I still think that you attract more with honey.
Yes, but I'm not going to, I'm trying to say, I don't want to be the attracting. Yeah. See how bad that is?
yeah.
Yeah. It's
and this is interesting.
Requirement. That's what I'm trying to say.
This
They
one
need to
looks
do
like
that.
it's been asphalted.
Well, they need to fix it. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you're telling me that I'm not going to be nice, you're probably not wrong. But this is not something UNNC should pay for. And then what I don't know, Dan, if you turn the corner, if there was anything on Jefferson, I can't. Zemus is dead in the water right now, so I can't figure out the addresses on Jefferson. But there's 3, you know, in other words, you were showing us the Crenshaw, but if you went backwards on Jefferson, I don't know how you find it, but there was like 5 or 6 trees missing. So, and, you know, I'm not going to re-download for now, but here, okay. So I'm trying to bring us back to the reality. I don't want to keep relitigating what the project used to be. I know, we all know what the project was. We're not going to have the money if we don't do something. It's all going to disappear. Moreover, just so you all know, in March, we're going to do a call for funding requests from everyone else in the whole of the UNNC to give us their funding requests at the executive committee in March. Greg and I both are aware that we're going to have a funding request next Tuesday for trees. Assuming we can get to that piece of our agenda, we want to try and get more trees funded, more funding for trees before we do a big call out to everyone else in the world for, as Lizzie knows, dog poop stations or whatever, right? So, well, you know what, I mean, Lizzie understands. I mean, in other words, there's lots of random projects, but trees are something that are permanent.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're being given the opportunity to think bigger. And then last but not least, Lizzie, we probably still do not want to tap your funds because those are the funds we can keep again for another year, right? So it's really important that we keep those funds. We might need those funds next year to continue the watering, for example.
Yes.
And they don't disappear, unlike, but I'm not feeling confident that neighborhood councils will be fully funded next year. The city is out of money.
Right.
So your funds are good to go. So we're not going to try and tap them this year. We purposely untapped them last year, and we don't want to tap them this year if we can avoid it, right? And then keep them good for next year. So we don't need to fill out a funding request form necessarily, but we probably should for Tuesday. We would certainly have to have it for on. So my question is, back to we're still attempting, we have to do 25 trees. KYCC went up and down Jefferson Boulevard and said there's only 8, and that was a year and a half ago. There couldn't be more, there could be less. We redefined the project to include the ability to plant more trees and then water and maintain them. So that could bump it up, but I'm not sure it can bump it up to 25 because Helen was meeting a great deal of resistance because KYCC also said that the majority of tree wells have stumps and they are not equipped to remove the stumps. And I don't know if Dan and Elizabeth and the other 1 or 2 volunteers identified open spaces, stumps, open spaces, no stumps.
I only recorded open tree wells with no stumps. The one exception is the asphalted one in front of 99 Cent. That's the only one that isn't fully open.
Okay.
Well, there's like a palm, a little palm in one, but I think it would be easy to dig out.
Yeah. Okay. So more or less we have 62 locations that we think do not have stumps. Is that
Yes.
overarching 62 locations?
And Laura, you could probably give us a number for how many of those 62 are the financial responsibility of other entities.
Correct. I can't do it off the top of my head, but that's what I'm saying. 6 of those, 5 or 6 clearly would be that one shopping center. And
so shall we guess 10?
Let me. I made this into a PDF, so I'm just looking on mine. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to say. For example, the Debbie Allen, they should do it.
Yes.
They're under construction. Carson Gore Academy, we should do, that would be one of ours. We planted it in the first place. I don't see that the school district has any more money than the city. So if it's dead, but LATC has killed so many plants over the years, I just don't know. I mean, in other words, I'm concerned. I'm not seeing on Washington, I'm not seeing the one that's in front of Surface, but there is one in front of Surface, and he said he would, if we got him a tree, he would take care of it.
It may have,
but I don't see it on this list.
Because it has a stump, probably.
Got it.
But so Laura,
yes,
if they get some of the businesses, if they get trees, they get to maintain them.
Correct.
Water and maintain them. So that would be, then we wouldn't be taking care of those.
Well, and my goal, I'll be honest with you, when I say Frank said he would take care of it, that's really swell. But I was really going to ask him to also donate some money to KYCC to let them take care of it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's sort of like a lot of these ones that they sign these little things, say, yeah, sure. And then clearly they don't.
Yeah.
Because that otherwise we wouldn't have half again of the trees we planted on Washington dead or disappeared.
Yeah.
But see, that is, okay.
Yeah.
So it just makes me think, okay, they had their chance. They didn't take good care of their trees. We're going to give them more trees so that they can do
No. I'm saying that's a problem. I am agreeing. Well, I'm agreeing that it's a problem, but it's not a problem I blame Surface for because they're recently here. And I don't blame the Debbie Allen people because they're not even quite here. You know, I mean, in other words, there's the people before and then there's the people now. Trust me, it makes me angry. But I can see some of these. 3,500 Crenshaw will get new trees as part of a construction project.
And which one is that? Is that one of the ones?
Yeah, on this list, you have 3,500 Crenshaw West Angeles, but 3,500 Crenshaw is actually in play, if I'm saying that right, for construction.
Are you writing on the spreadsheet now?
Not me, Laura. I'm looking at a PDF.
I am adding these to the notes, to the
Perfect.
minutes, because.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm so tired.
Okay, you should go to sleep. Go on, go by.
Well, okay, we need to make a decision. We really do.
What's our decision about?
What are we asking for in terms of funding for I need to put something on the agenda. Do we want, I mean, for example, we could think big. Do we want to ask for $500 plus another $6,900 and do 25 more trees, a total of 50? That's kind of a lot of money. I don't think they'll approve us.
No.
Let's ask for it. Go big. And then when they pull us back to 5,000, that's still more than.
Yeah, but the problem is that timing is not on our side.
Right.
Because time is running out. I mean, we should have,
Exactly. That's why I'm pushing you guys. Even if you're tired and yawning, Elizabeth, I'm really pushing you guys because time is not on our side.
Well, you're not making clear what you want. Just tell me what you want and I'll say yes. I'll move to that.
I understand, but of those 62 locations, how greedy should we be, I guess is the question.
My impression.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's back up. We definitely need to ask for $500 more to make the gap funding to the 6,900 that we have in writing from KYCC for 25 trees. Right now, we don't even have enough money for 25. Okay, so there's no question that we need the 500. Do we want to ask UNNC to fund 15 more locations?
One moment. Some of these locations are places that the owners might not.
That's why I'm reducing it.
Well,
that's why I'm trying to figure out what are we asking for. We don't have to. We do not need to identify to UNNC on Tuesday which 15 other.
Yeah, I understand.
But we definitely have to have all of the locations totally approved by KYCC by June 1st.
Okay. Question. How many of the locations do you think are blighted in the sense that if we plant them, no matter what happens, they will fail?
I have no clue.
As far as you're concerned, all of the 62 are potentially viable from that point of view?
Well, I'm not going to ask for funding for 62. We definitely don't have that money.
I think yes. Although a conversation with KYCC would help. My thought is that those wells were cut and then sometime later, like KYCC or the city came down with some more stipulations, which is something, like not near a lamp post, a street light, not near a driveway. And that might be stricter than it was when they dug the
right.
The
okay. Well, I'm going to give you some more input. All the trees that range from 2950 Crenshaw south to 30th Street, we need not concern ourselves with those because again, CI 2950 South Crenshaw, which would be about the middle of the block. I'm looking on your page 5 of photos. You're showing 2956 to 30th. will be replanted by CIM.
Great.
So you're calling it 2956. So, but that whole block, the half block all the way from not at the adapt is different, but I have asked CIM and I will ask them again, can they please just give us another tree that's adjacent to their project? They're building an office structure. So I will ask. 3036 Crenshaw. I don't think that's the right address. The one you're showing on page 9 that you've identified as 3036. But it's between the Burger King and the 99-cent store. Are we sure that that's the correct address?
No.
Yeah, because I think 3036 is a little farther north. But that well is a big question mark. I'm guessing that's part of the shopping center project that they're required to do it. Oh, well, wait a minute, maybe not. Because I see these are all decorated the same with the little bricks around them. What you're showing is 3500 Crenshaw, but it's in front of the parking structure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where I'm on your page 15. I'm not looking at Zoom right now. I'm on just looking at my own desktop. That there's a big tree well that you've identified, figure 15 on page 15. As it's sort of kind of in between the parking structure and the barbed wire fence. That is a new construction project, and they'll have to plant that tree.
That's which address again?
Well, you show it as 3518 on figure 15.
I don't, okay, 3518.
Should be something that gets planted when they build where the barbed wire is. That's been sold. Okay, no, nothing about, 1684 South Normandy. Now I'm on page 16. That's not within UNNC's footprint.
Really?
It's on the other side. That's Pico Union. You know, we stop in the middle of the road there. But 1701,
so fed up with
wait,
Zoom at this
1701
moment.
is us. We only have the west side of Normandy.
Yes, I understand. So which one are you talking about here?
Well, on the east side, you're showing 1684. That's not us, so that you can wipe it out.
Why do you say that's the east side?
Because east is even, and so is south for addresses.
Ah, well, then this is that wrong address. That's
Oh,
the
because you
west
think
side.
it's on the west?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Well, then it's back in. I'm just saying. East is even, so is south. I was taught that ditty years ago.
Well, I failed to learn the lesson.
No. I mean, I was taught that by a fellow journalist.
What's the saying? What's the mnemonic?
East is even, so is south.
Oh, east is even, so is south.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going through this kind of quickly, but I also think that where you see a tree well and now a bus stop, guessing we can't put a tree where there's a bus stop.
Okay, which
I'm on page 20, page 20, figure 20. Luckily, these are one by one. So figure 20, 2343.
so that's too close?
I think you can't. I'm guessing. I would
Okay.
guess you can't have a bus stop. Once the tree is in, you wouldn't see the bus stop.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, so 2343 is out because of bus stop.
Right, that's what I think. I'm guessing, but you know, that's just what I think.
I think you're right.
Is 1714 Southwestern, where is that?
One moment.
I'm on page 22.
Hang on. 2343. Okay.
Is that in front of the shopping center?
Which?
1714 Southwestern.
2 pages down.
Winchell's.
Yeah, that's Winchell's.
Oh,
That's
it's
just
on the
south
east
of
side.
Winchell's.
Okay, so that's, yeah, that might be viable for us because that shopping center itself is not, there's no construction going on there.
Okay.
I mean, it's sad and ugly, and 1717 Southwestern is really sad and ugly.
Yep.
And I think they planted a tree not too long ago and it got demolished.
Yeah, this may be a dangerous location.
Yeah, because they did a lot of work on this shopping center not too long ago.
Yes.
So,
And
okay, so now we're into Lizzie's area, 3109. I'm on page 24, 3109 Southwestern
Hang
in
on.
Jefferson Park.
Yeah, hang on. I can't hear you.
I mean, actually, it probably would have been more appropriate for me to, there we go. Then, you're going back and forth. We don't need to have your minutes up on the screen. Can we just have the photos up on the screen?
You know what? I need to work here. Let me work.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm worried about 1717 because I think it was actually replanted as a tree less than 2 years ago.
Right.
But the next one, as you go down to the next figure, 24, that's in Jefferson Park.
that's the corner of my house. That's there's a former church there in the background.
Right.
By the Mercy. That's Mercy, right?
Mercy's there, and then in between Mercy and this location, that's the vacant lot, right?
Right.
And that they're also planning to build something on.
Are there plans to?
I think so.
Oh, nice.
Yes, but you see, so you know, this in terms of implementation, I mean, so this is one, if you want to write that down on your notes, where I might have a developer that I could talk to about, hey, since you have to plant trees in front of your project, can you plant this one too?
Right. So could you give me any? Oh, maybe we can talk offline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I meant for Dan, if you know, you're asking me where might be some developments. That's one potential.
Okay.
See, I'm asking some of the developers to just be good citizens. If you have to plant in front of your thing, can you move 10 feet to the north or south and plant one more and take care of it too? They may not say yes, they have no obligation.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So is that, are there any other candidates that you think are not our responsibility or?
Yeah, the, 2803, Lizzie that's not where the new motel's going, right? The one that has, it's again, figure 25. Okay, I'm going back and forth between Zoom. Yeah, that's the little palm tree baby. There's
Yeah.
2 of them actually.
Oh, where that is.
That's in Jefferson Park, but I don't know what it's in front of.
No, I don't know. I may have to go to Google Maps.
And I don't see it on the spreadsheet either.
What are we looking for? 2803?
Western.
Okay.
I mean, I may not have done a good job of downloading your spreadsheet.
2803, that's little baby.
Little baby palm trees, yes. We don't want them to be big ones. All right, and then I'm now hitting the Jefferson one. So, I mean, obviously we do want to prioritize Jefferson, except insofar as if we're replacing trees that somebody killed on purpose, there's no point in killing them a second time, right? And Lizzie, what's your thoughts about Holy Name of Jesus? If we do put the trees in, will they watch over them? Even, you know, we can water and maintain, but sometimes people just crash their cars into trees. Not on purpose. I mean, sometimes they just get crashed into. So, but what do you think about Holy Name? Are they good about trees?
I have no idea.
Because they seem to have no trees.
I mean, certainly when you know, if this project comes to fruition and
there we are. Whoop. Yeah.
And the trees are finally
Where
there.
is it?
Of course, the
longtime fencing up
would
in
be,
the left.
would be, you know,
This one?
monitoring that they thrive and they're well maintained, etc. Okay, so yeah, that's Holy Name.
Right. I mean, it's just so surprising when I see a church and a school where the people are so involved actually in the neighborhood to let this happen. Right. But, you know, I say that, but I still need to plant a tree on my parkway. And I've been saying this for some years. And if I had just done it, it'd be a giant tree by now.
Okay, well, let's take a gamble on them. They sound like good people.
And kids are there. So let's shade those kids.
Right. Okay, well, obviously, I'm circling back. What are we asking for in terms of, I know we're going to ask for $500 of gap funding. Do we want to, I mean, I'm just throwing out a number. Do we want to fund 10 more? Do we want to fund 20 more? Do we want to fund only 15 more? Noting that we know that 25 equals $6,900. I don't think we're going to get $7,400 from the UNNC governing board.
Go down that route. I'd like to summarize how many non-candidates are here. How many do you think are in the non-financial responsibility category altogether?
Well, we were doing this really quick, but if I look at this list, 6, 8, 20. Probably 20.
Great.
But that's still 42. Oh, coincidentally, if it were 40, that's 15 trees. Right. So maybe that's our ask.
Probably 10. I don't know, 15. That might be pushing it too much.
Because we can't handle that kind of project, or because they won't give us the money?
No, I think they won't give us the money.
Okay, then I think we ask for it. And is it likely that they'll walk away because we ask for too much, or they'll just pull us down?
Okay, well, let me do another thing. I'm doing some quick math. Each tree, the KYCC bid is 33 visits at $8 per visit per tree. So it's 33 times 8 equals. So each tree is $264. And then there's an additional fee that we're already paying on the one project, $300, but we should assume adding another $300 for stakes, mulch, ties. And that's separate and apart. We have still not talked about, do we need to buy the trees?
Aren't there free trees available?
I don't know. I'm asking you guys.
City trees seems like they're flush with trees.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also,
but I suppose we should check.
So you know about the Brisbane box by now, but there's another Australian native tree that it seems to be very viable in this
Mhm.
weather zone, which is the Australian willow. It's an evergreen. It doesn't grow as tall as the Brisbane box, but I think on Jefferson we don't really have that problem because I don't know. I don't think there are.
Can we come back to choosing type of tree a little later? I think we
Yeah,
need to get-
I was just, my only question has to do with, and I asked it a month ago, I thought we were going to try and confirm this in the meantime. Of the trees we want, are those free or do we need to buy them? Or do we change our wants based on only using free trees?
Preferably free trees, but these two that I mentioned, they are in the list of approved trees by the city.
Yeah, but are they available for free? I mean, two different things.
Well, who do we ask?
That would be a KYCC question, I think, when Elizabeth connects to the person.
And I'm willing to spend an afternoon
Okay.
researching where we can get trees and for how much.
Okay, well, anyway, if we, based on the numbers from the KYCC bid, if we did 15 more trees, this may not be viable. If we did 15 more trees, it looks like it would be 41.25 plus X for mulch and stakes and things, so $4,500 more dollars. So we'd be asking for $5,000 more dollars, 500 plus 4,500. It doesn't seem like a totally unreasonable ask.
Yeah,
What
I
do you-
guarantee.
You know, there's a fair chance that some of the 17 aren't going to be viable. Should we assume that only, 10 are actually good candidates?
What do you mean,
Well-
like
Well,
type of tree or box?
locations. No, but I mean, we can spend less. Dan, the trick is we can't change to ask for more. We can always
Mhm.
spend less. But also we're not sure what those 8, you're looking at 62 locations, but that did not include the 8 that may still be viable of living trees. So it's really 62 plus 8, which is 70. I mean, in other words, I think we cannot ask for more than 15, meaning the money for more than 15, because that's $4,500 more or less, plus 5. So
Yeah.
So you're basing this on a feeling that we can only ask for 4,500 more? Or,
that, well, 5,000, because we need the 500 just to do the gap funding for the
Got it.
first project. So we're going to have to do 500 requests, but if we want more trees, we need more money. Intuition, hunch. I have no crystal ball, Dan. We could be turned down completely, except I think we'll get the 500 for sure. I would like to think we'd get more. And we're retaining the prioritization for Jefferson Boulevard. I mean, that's what we passed as a motion. Priority is Jefferson Boulevard. And if we can't do 25 there, which we can't, unfortunately, then nearby commercial quarters, then spinning outwards is any commercial quarter within UNNC. But if
What
we
was
get the
that
extra,
300?
if we get an additional 4,500, we can go farther. I mean, just keep
I
going.
really need you to slow down, Laura. You said that there were 300, another 300 we needed to spend for something?
I'm just estimating from the bid we already have in hand from KYCC, which on the original bid for 25 trees, it included $300 for mulch, stakes, ties, and materials. So where I'm moving from 4,125 up to 4,500 is assuming there's still mulch, ties, and stakes that would need to be purchased,
Okay,
particularly since we're now talking about planting trees and not just maintaining existing.
so you estimate we need another 300 for mulch, et
No,
cetera?
included within the 4,500.
Yes. But you're estimating that we need to spend 300 on mulch and,
No, included in the 4,500 would be a materials cost.
the 4,500 additional,
Okay,
which 4,500?
yes, each tree based on our current KYCC bid is $264 a year. 15 times 264 is 4,125. And I'm bumping that to 4,500 to include materials such as mulch, ties,
Okay,
and
got it.
stakes.
Pause, let me write this down. Okay, did I get that right?
Here. Well, these are minutes. It's not a motion, but yeah. If for minutes you want to say Laura's intuition, that's fine. So, but we still have to do a motion, an actual real deal motion.
Yes, you skipped over the part where you said, I had this right. Is it right? Just checking.
I'm reading it.
Okay.
I mean, your cursor's in my way a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Well, a combination of your cursor and a spot on my screen.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, that's fine. It's not, I mean, it's no.
What I got wrong?
Okay. Again, I'm trying. To add 15 trees would be equals $4,500. That's all. 15 trees, adding 15 trees to the overall project would be $4,500 estimated. And we need 500 in gap financing for the original project. In other words, the 31st Street Quality of Life Committee's grant requests, they did not get the full amount that they asked for. They're $500 short. So we need the $500 no matter what.
I understand. I was just trying to estimate how many trees we can afford.
15. Yeah, you're trying to go the other direction. I started out by I did the tree times the cost plus materials. You're trying to go backwards from what I gave you. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
So
It's
I think
just
we
fine.
get the answer.
Fine. It's cool. It's cool. These are just minutes.
This is not minutes. This is me trying to understand what you are talking about. And I have trouble because I cannot process words as fast as you can produce them. So I appreciate your accumulated wisdom. I am in awe of it, but I struggle to comprehend it. So I think I've captured it in a way that my tiny brain can handle. So 15 additional trees we can ask for. So what else do we need? What's our next step here?
I'm typing the actual motion that we want to move forward. I'm typing it in the chat, so just give me a moment because I can't talk and type easily at the same time.
chat here.
So I was just reading, your next steps, Dan, and
Yeah.
masterful minutes. And in the next step, it does say asking the 31st Street Quality of Life Committee for Lizzie, Dolores, and Helen to approve something.
Well,
Is that-
to confirm, it would be to confirm that the Lonnie grant they're about to receive will be part of this project.
Okay. So Lizzie, is that your understanding that that needs to happen?
I will relay that information to.
So we need an answer before I go to KYCC, I think.
No. All you need to, Elizabeth, UNNC is not, can't risk, we will lose the $4,000. It will go back to city coffers if we don't spend it. So it's not so much that you need an answer to talk to KYCC. If we learn that the 31st Street Quality of Life Committee will not be putting in the $2,500, then we will have to go a second time back to the UNNC board at the March meeting, March exact,
Okay.
to ask for another $2,500
Okay.
or have fewer trees.
Okay. Okay.
But
Good.
from KYCC, what we need to know would be, is it still $8 per visit per tree for 33 visits? Meaning, what if it's now $12?
No. We're not gonna. Okay. I'm
Not,
not gonna.
but you understand my point.
I really have to go. So.
Okay, so I've posted a proposed motion, and I'm
Okay.
going to say moved by Laura. Is
Yep.
there a
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Lizzie, I think it would be important for you okay,
Yay.
great.
Okay.
Unanimous.
Okay. And sorry, this has just taken so long. And yeah. I mean, and again, Lizzie, everybody, what I'm told from Rebecca Draper at Lonnie is the 31st Street Quality of Life Committee won't get the money unless they have a at minimum a 50% match.
Right.
Okay, give me a moment. I have not left. I haven't even eaten my dinner. So, yes, bye. I'm in the meeting still. Bye.
So I think we have concluded
That
this.
part, but you want to talk about your LADWP, and Elizabeth
Nope.
wants to go to bed.
I do not want to talk about it.
Okay. All right. So question.
Yeah.
Are either Elizabeth or Dan available to go to executive committee on Tuesday night, which starts at 7, but it doesn't have to be at 7 o'clock on the agenda.
And it's online.
Yeah, it's like this, just like this, only more people, maybe not a lot more people, a few more people. But Greg moderates, so it doesn't go on and on and on.
So which day?
This coming Tuesday, the 16th. Shrove Tuesday.
And what time it's in the evening?
The meeting starts at 7 and funding requests usually come first, but
I'm
don't
available.
have.
I'm available.
Okay.
Because I'm not. I have Toastmasters.
Right.
You're in class. Okay. And Lizzie, you'll know, I don't know if you teach that night or not. I'm not gonna, let me just be clear. We don't need to address at executive committee the big question mark on the grant. That we do need to resolve that by governing board. But, I would hope that that Helen thinks this is great news and we're just able to move forward.
Okay.
Dan, it's the 16th, Tuesday the 16th. And it's executive committee, not the board.
Okay, great. Let us adjourn then. I move we adjourn.
I don't think I don't think the chair needs to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Well, I would love to put Elizabeth out of her misery and into her bed. So go to bed.
Okay, now wait, before
you, everybody.
before we end the meeting though, just again, remind everybody, if you want to, in this case, it's just the one motion. If you want to save the chat to your computer, open up the chat and then click on the 3 buttons
Yep.
and hit save.
Yep.
All right. I will, it'll automatically come to my computer.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your patience in slogging through a lot of detail. And I think this was really worthwhile.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
And
Okay.
and I know I have homework to check the development, the land use development sites / trees. And I'll be honest with you, I'll stick that on the planning and zoning committee meeting on Wednesday, because that'll force me to do some homework and might cause us to have the John Arnold and Laura, co-chairs, write a letter to the planning department about their following up on, when they say as a condition of this or that or the other project, you do trees, they need to follow up.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
I know
very-
that sounds witchy, but they need to.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right, Laura.
So by the way, we don't, I will check it again, but we are not getting a huge click through on our elections thing.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, even compared to other emails is what I'm trying to say. So far we have only had, I'm looking once more, it's 24 hours, 150 people have opened the email.
mhm.
And it's a rate of 14%. And a lot of our emails are, our e-blasts are 21, 25, I mean, so I don't know what that means exactly. Well, I do. They don't, elections, who cares? It's like sad.
Right. There's
Yeah.
a lot of fatigue.